Hello. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome into the Spiritual View. I'm Elizabeth, one of 7. Hello to Marsha. She's not here tonight, but we've got Dawn and Jen, Wendy, Angie, and Sari. And I just want you guys to know how much we love and appreciate you for being here. I know it's been wild, interesting, good, bad, and indifferent. And we feel you. We love you. And that's about it. Like, we're going to just keep chugging on. There's so much to discuss and still to work on and grow and talk about. So that's what we're here for today. Keep in mind our focus. We're going to read for you. If you do have questions, put them in the chat. Our focus will be on what needs your attention and best move forward type of advice. So keep that in mind and let us know what we can do to help. So everyone take a deep breath. Of course, we need some beautiful grounding. So I am going to, first everyone say hi, and then we'll turn it over to Sari and ground and get to chatting.
Hi guys, it's Jen.
Hey, sorry, we're good. We're good. Okay.
Go ahead with Dawn. We'll go ahead. We can have everybody go. So Dawn can go.
Hi, hello to everyone. I've heard some really good news from people that are in this chat today. So I'm glad that there's a lot of good stuff going on. So hello to everyone.
Hey everybody. I'm looking forward to talking with everybody today. It's going to be a good one.
Okay.
Oh, Angie's muted.
So happy to be here. Oh,
here we go.
Thank you. Hi guys, it's me, Angie from Learn Love Tarot. How are you tonight? Glad to be here.
All right. And I'm rounding out the crew, Sari. And I'm going to ask everyone to just relax because we're going to do, thank God it's Friday, grounding. We got through the week. I pulled a card from the Archangel deck, and the Archangel who's with us today is Archangel Metatron. And I don't know what he means to you connected with Archangel Sandalphon, but Archangel connected with sacred geometry, and he is the guardian of the Akash. So I spend a whole lot of time with him in Sandalphon. So want everyone just to close your eyes and to just settle into your body. And we're going to take a couple of nice deep cleansing breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. One last time, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we are going to give grace and gratitude that we've made it through this energetic week of shifts and changes. We are all grounded in our bodies. We are relaxing. Let go of any fears, any anxieties, anything that's troubled you this week. Just let it go. We have Archangel Metatron here to guide us and assist us today, to align with our soul. As we allow this warm, beautiful light to make its way through all of our energy systems, we're going to allow this gentle, beautiful, golden light today to meet our crown, continuing down to the third eye, opening up our clairs, cleansing, balancing, letting us get in touch with our intuition, moving down to the throat to help us find our voice and stand in our authentic power of who we are, moving down to the heart, letting us experience unconditional love and compassion for self and others. Moving down to the solar plexus, cleansing, aligning, continuing down to the sacral, helping us connect with our creativity, continuing down to the root, where we find our core of safety, security, and groundedness. This beautiful golden light continues down through our legs, knees, ankles, feet, out the toes, and goes deep into Mother Earth. And Mother Earth is surrounding each of us with her beautiful love and gentle support. White light comes back up through our chakras, through the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown, and it goes up into the heavens and connects us with Source. And that energy comes around each of us in this beautiful cone of protective light. I'm asking Archangel Michael to join Archangel Metatron to partner together to protect our sacred space and to allow us to become this community of love and support for one another as we continue to navigate the energies ahead. With that, we are giving our blessings of gratitude and grace for this time together. We are clear, and I will hand it over to Dawn. Thank you.
God bless you, Sari. I don't know how you managed to keep your focus, because Luna was channeling her inner Black Lilith, I think.
Did you see her?
No, I heard her.
We heard her.
Sorry. I was
bangs. And I was
sorry,
like,
guys, but I'm
I'm
doing the
just
best.
trying not to look, and I'm like, what
Yeah,
happened?
it made a smile. Thank you.
I was like, Luna. Ooh, Luna.
Don and I are looking up at each other, giggling.
We're like, but we love Luna. We do. We love Luna. So
Well, Luna loves you, obviously, because she wants to be on camera. Anyway, sorry, guys, but again, I did the best I could. So
that was amazing. That was amazing.
Focus in chaos.
Focus and chaos. So Sari got it right today. Focus and chaos. How she managed to do that, I would have been falling over. And I caught some other smirks, just not besides Elizabeth and me. There was a few other ones out there. I know we were like, but I think that's great. I think that's seeing the humor in what's going on and everything. And there's a couple things I really want to cover specifically. I know in readings, surprisingly, I've had the sun keep coming out too. The sun keeps coming up in my readings constantly. And I think that is a really good message. What I wanted to do is kind of reiterate what I've said in the past, that I know we had the elections this week. And I said, truly, with all of the astrology going on, that what happens with the election, there's other bigger astrology that's activated. And what I want you to realize is that we're going to be having, no matter, and I said this long before any results, I want you to realize that the astrology is very high energy stuff. Like the people that I've known, that I follow, that I respect, that have been doing this for 40 plus years are like, this astrology is so strong, and especially for the next couple of years. So I want to point out that even though a lot of that is mundane astrology, which is happening on a global level, that what we can bring into our own reality is much more personal for us, and truly, with me knowing what I do about astrology and how things are gonna be changing and shifting and adjusting. I pointed out this morning when we had a little meeting, I was like, and with all of this going on, I still planned a trip to Europe to see my grandbaby in December. And I want people to realize that your life doesn't stop. You shouldn't let any of the astrology that's going on stop you from living your life and being joyful and having fun, because the astrology is going to be tough the next couple of years, especially when we get the larger planets. But it's because it's the larger planets, the slower planets that are out there are generational things, which means they're collective things that are going on. It's not like it will still affect us, especially depending upon the degrees, if we have early degrees of stuff and if it's squaring or opposing. But still there's things that we will be able to surf the energies of these things and make it work in our favor. And, or even if we know, sometimes if you have a transit that's coming up that isn't like great for you, you have like some kind of a Mars square for your day chart, then what you do is you find a way to alleviate some of that tension in the Mars situation by physically moving your body. I have been saying all along, physically move your body, do grounding. Mars is going to be going into retrograde. Mercury just hit its shadow yesterday. So Mercury is started at 6 degrees, entering its shadow. Anything, because it's in Sagittarius, anything that's in on 6 degrees to, I believe it's 22 degrees of the mutable signs, those are lessons that we're going to be getting. You should always look at Mercury as, oh no, things are going to go wrong. No, it's lessons, especially if it's personal planets that it's going over. So there's a lot of astrology I just want to touch on. And that is one of the things, is if you have, I have a 6 degree Mars in Gemini, which is one of the mutable signs. So it's Sagittarius, Gemini, Sagittarius, Gemini, and then Virgo, Pisces. So those are the mutable signs. So what Mercury is doing, starting from 6 degrees to 22, kind of watch what's going on now until Mercury hits 22, and you may get an idea of what's going to be going back and being reworked. But the thing is, if that's the case, like if you're rewriting a book or something like that, it's just going to make it better. It's like rethinking that area and reimagining it, relearning something, and having something come back quicker. And then when it goes direct again, it puts that plan into action in a much better way. So it's about things getting better in that sense. But any personal planets, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, and Venus, any of those that you have in the mutable signs are going to get lessons from Mercury. So bear in mind which house it's in, which sign it's in, whether it's a square or an opposition. So I wanted to start with that just as a little thing to get moving with. The other thing I wanted to say is we have it's the 19th that we move out of. So we've got 11 days? 11 days left in Capricorn with Pluto. And Pluto just doesn't do things quietly. Pluto never quietly leaves a room. So I think we should be aware of that. And we are going to be getting that reactivation point when Mars goes back into that area of Cancer in an opposition, and especially when the moon hits that degree, because you always have to have something that's activating it. And to me, that would be the moon going over that degree, that particular degree of Capricorn, when you have Mars opposite. So that's what I would say. There's going to be an activation probably during that time frame. So whatever has been coming up for you with this 29 degree. So the other thing I wanted to mention is with each of the houses, with each of the signs, what house is that for you? So I'm going to kind of quickly run through what those lists are, starting with Aries. If you are an Aries rising, or if you have Aries sun, if you don't know what your rising sign is, this is good. You can still use it for your sun sign. It's the 10th house for you. That's the house of your work. That's the house of what you're known for. And with Capricorn being there, maybe you changed jobs to a more personal job as opposed to being controlled by a higher authority. That was Pluto's power. So maybe during this time you got to thinking, you know what, especially when COVID hit, or all those things, those kind of woke up things for you in that area of your chart. And you're like, you know what? I like working from home. I want to work for myself. So that could be something that happened with Aries because of that 10th house energy, or something that you're known for. Maybe you had a side hustle that you worked with, right? So going on to Taurus, that would be the 9th house. I would say with that could have been your viewpoints changing, your personal philosophy changing, going back to school. Going back to school would be that house. Legal problems in that house, depending upon your personal planets and things too. That would be that Taurus in that 9th house energy. Foreign travel, foreign things, long distance travel by plane. So, and somebody that had a 10th house had an interview today that is an Aries rising. So yeah, good for you. So then with Gemini, I'm a Gemini rising. That's my 8th house. So the 8th house, the 8th and the 12th are always the hardest to define. The 8th house, beginnings and endings, other people's money, taxes, what you owe, loans, anything like that. It's also a very spiritual house, just like the 12th house is. Depending upon some people, when I do their readings, I can see gifts coming from ancestors that come in because that's also an inherited thing, or it's a higher connection to what's out there, depending on what the house is for that person. But if it's Gemini rising and it's your 8th house, how are things changed? I mean, I went through a lot, and it was like, okay, what shared resources, as a part of a process of divorce, you have to deal with the shared resources piece of it. So you look at that 8th house and what that might be for you. And because it was such a long transit, what are you releasing? And also, it's generally it's probably 3 or 4 of those things in each of those houses, as opposed to just one. You got hit with all of those things. So the spirituality piece and all the other things, depending upon what the transits were going through. So Cancer, Capricorn is your 7th house. And that would be about the relationship with the other people in your lives, contracts, one-on-one contracts, one-on-one clients. When your children grow up, they were in the 5th house. When they're more adults, that can change into a 7th house relationship. So those are the things that you have to bear in mind, that relationships are changing. And you also had the added angst of having the fact that you were square the nodes at this time, right? Just recently. So big relationship issues going on, especially with parental things between those 2 house axis and the relationship. Those are the relationships, right? The the friends and your own personal self, and then either parental energy, or especially being it would be yourself versus others, and you defining your own boundaries. That would be a good thing. Most of these things can be solved with good boundaries for all of these things. Leo, 6th house, everyday work. Your everyday work changed. What you were doing out in the world changed. What power got released for you in relation to that 6th house? It's also about health. You could have been dealing with health issues. You could have, long-term health issues that you were dealing with. And now it's like, okay, end of the road. I'm just finishing this out. Boom. I'm setting a different thing going forward with this energy. And it's also the people that you work with in that 6th house, people that you work with. Virgo, the 5th house. In Capricorn, being that it's Capricorn and it's the 5th house, how were you not allowed to have fun? How was that control taken from you with Pluto there, that control thing going on? Pluto is also transformative. Have you learned how to have fun now in the things that matter to you? Have you learned to bring that energy forward of what your creativity is, what you love? Maybe you had issues, long-term with children. Boundaries. Pluto, it was there to really show you what was going wrong, and what, as it transferred forward and moved forward, how you can solve those problems. And again, I feel like that's a boundary issue thing. It's creativity in the 5th house. It's how you are out in the public in the 5th house. Maybe you decided, I'm going to be more vocal about things that I don't like. So that could be something that's in the 5th house, because that's also how we show up on stage, the 5th house. So Libra, 4th house, home, right? Issues with family, issues with property. And again, you have that axis of, because it's a cardinal sign, and we've had the cardinal issues going on. Again, very much about relationships, very much about getting rid of the going along to get along, setting good boundaries, which other people don't like. That in the fourth, I think, is very important. And that is going to be, just a warning, revisited when Mars is going to be going back into Cancer, because that is also about family. That is also about ancestry, and protecting our home and our family and what we value. Mars in Cancer is like the guard dog protecting the property. You shall not pass, right? So that's also that energy of what's going on in those relations right now. Those are really speaking very loudly to me about relationships and how toxic relationships have needed to change and end. The problem is also the toxic patterns we learned in our families growing up. Toxic patterns, because that's how we learned as children what was our normal. That was normal. Well, then you get out into the world, and then you're like, if you don't know how to handle things, you revert to what you know. And that is a true learning process. And that's a very control process. And that's maybe what Pluto has been meant changing for you in that area of your life. And I think Mars will help finish that up. So just be aware that there's a lot of changes that are going forward in that particular area of the chart. Now we have Scorpio. Scorpio would have Capricorn in the third house. The third house is siblings. Their third house is communication. It's your local environment. It's your business, possibly. People have had huge business changes of their own businesses in the past, since 2008, when Pluto went into Capricorn, how things have changed drastically with that. And the third house is something that always changes all the time. It's very, very fluid because it's your local community, right? It's how you communicate. And Pluto may, depending upon if you had any personal planets there, Pluto may have tried to control things regarding the way things are communicated, I believe. And I think that whether it's also people in your life that feel like family. It's extended family, but it's also people that you feel like are your brother and sister kind of energies as well. So don't exclude that just because they're not blood. It could be somebody that you were raised with as a cousin who you're very close with. So all of those energies for that third house energy for Scorpio. And fortunately, yeah, it's nice because that's a sextile energy for Scorpio. But a lot of these things, I still feel like third house. If there's anything else I can think of regarding the third house, there's just so many things. Vehicle changes, all of those things, problems with vehicles. That's the third house thing. Coming up, Sag would have Capricorn in the second house. Personal values, money, your resources. And your resources aren't just financial. Sometimes it can be, your property, but sometimes it's also your self-worth. Have you really gone through having to redefine yourself based on what's going on in your second house? Your resources. These are your resources. So has there been someone else trying to control your resources? That's Pluto, depending upon how it's talking to other things in the chart and what you have in that area of your chart. Going to Capricorn, being that is your first house. Wow, this has been all about you dealing with yourself, because it would have gone over your ascendant or your sun. That is a big deal. Being that I know some of us have Cancer energy, and we were on the opposite end, getting the opposition of that Pluto. Ouch. And it is very much personal. It's been a personal transition for people that have that in the first house. It's been a huge learning curve about taking your power back and addressing things with how things have always been. You went along with how things have always been. And now you're defining your own boundaries. Again, boundaries are changing. Capricorn is the way we've always done things. It's the traditional thing. And I think that is changing and will continue to change with that energy. So let's go into Aquarius, 12th house Capricorn. Wow. Okay. So 12th house can be about isolation, being by yourself, going away on retreats, needing downtime, hidden enemies. Because I'm saying that because Pluto's there. And you could have found out that people that you thought you could trust were not, and there would have been betrayal there. And 12th house is also, again, one of those spiritual houses. So I think as part of what you were being transformed into, a lot of people have had huge spiritual awakenings with that Pluto in that 12th house energy, I will say. And I think that's, it can also be about people who work in hospitals or prisons or bigger institutions. That can show up in the 12th house as where you work and what you do. Also, if you go into exile, sometimes if you are moving out of the country, that's a 12th house thing, because it's you being in exile away from your home country, or you going on a retreat. Sometimes that's more, being that it was Pluto and it's a longer term thing. It could have been maybe about having more experience with things that were foreign, maybe, I kind of think even the way that we're doing things now with being able to get online and YouTube has greatly expanded the 12th house stuff, where we used to be stuck at home and now we are able still to communicate with everyone. So that's been a transformation, and it's still allowed us to be able to communicate with each other. So I think that is a pretty big thing for especially Aquarius, is that this Pluto is going to be going into Aquarius, and things are going to be so rapidly changing as this future energy, where AI and super AI are going to be coming out. Jobs are going to be changing. I'm just telling you, you don't have to be an astrologer to know that. That is part of what's going to be going on, and you will still have Jupiter and Gemini and air signs. That's a lot of innovation, lots and lots of innovation, and Uranus will be joining or popping in for a little bit next year into Gemini as well. And that will be, again, a big boost, because all of these ideas are just going to be, it'll be now. It'll be all of a sudden it's there, right? So let's take a look at Pisces. And Pisces, that would be your 11th house. The 11th house is about friendships, boundaries, again, the way we communicate, networking, luck. And again, I think because it's a very public house, have you had your ways that you communicate with others stifled in some way or controlled in some way? That is something that you can consider about what's been changing for you in that 11th house. This is the time to really take a look at what Pluto in that particular house has meant to you and what you want to do about it. If it was a great change, good. Reaffirm that and keep going with it. If it's something that you recognize, like, oh yeah, I do let my sister walk all over me, I need to set a boundary on that, not great. And I do feel everybody will have a little bit of this in their relationship because of all the relationship access this is activating. To me, in a very huge way, it's definitely large relationship access for this, especially moving forward. We have a bunch of things coming up. Eventually, we'll have that new moon in Capricorn again. So there's a lot of things going on. Like I said, the astrology is super loud and there's a lot of it. So it's hard to even focus in here and there on what things are being changed for you. But there's something that you should think, those are the things that you should think about. I would say Pluto, and with the nodes in Pluto being in Capricorn, and then with Cancer, and then you have the nodes in Libra and Aries. Really address your relationships. This is the time to get it right. We have one last eclipse in Aries. I believe it's March 29th. It's like at 9 degrees in Aries. This is your like, okay, this is a brand new day. I've set my boundaries. Nobody's breaking them. Don't wait until then to get this started. It'll be too hard. Do it now. You have the holidays coming up. It's a good time to practice because people walk over each other's boundaries at Christmas, and you need to say, nope. And then quietly go and have a glass of water or something. I would say wine, but I don't want to get anybody started on a bad thing. When I will say this, when Mars goes into retrograde, don't start an argument, because the person that starts the argument will lose the argument. And Mercury will also be in retrograde. Don't say anything that you can't take back. Be like this, like that. Many, many, many times over. Okay. So anybody have any questions, comments, whatever?
You covered a lot. You covered a lot.
It's like, okay, around my brain. Yeah.
So I think that we can move over to pulling cards, and we're going to be starting with Sari. So anybody that wants us to pull cards for you, we do have specific questions that we're going to be doing, but put a heart in the chat and we will be pulling to who we are drawn from. And so we're starting with Sari.
All right. Thanks, everyone. And I was drawn to Naomi today. I know it's your second live on Friday, so I pulled a couple of cards. So what we're going to be pulling for everyone is, first card is what needs the most attention for you right now as Pluto is exiting Capricorn and moving into Aquarius. And then what advice does Spirit have for you? And so amidst the chaos of Luna right below me, I pulled a couple of cards, Naomi. And the first one is from one of my newest favorite decks, the Shaman's Dream. And the card that I pulled, this is what needs your attention right now the most. And it's called Beloved, the object of affection, radical acceptance, loving what is. So what needs your attention? It says, when the beloved appears, it requires 100% of your heart, body, and soul. Don't try to squeeze the beloved into your schedule. Drop the busyness and receive the one that you have been waiting for. Know that this card comes as a mirror to show you the divine within and to invite your radical acceptance of everything you consider beautiful or ugly in your being. The beloved may not be a person at all. It could be a new business venture, a project, or an adventure calling for your full attention. Love it, let it light you up, and give it your all. Surrender to this truth and know that you are gaining a passport to bliss, even when it feels like you're being consumed by the fire of the beloved. Do not hold back or be afraid, for you will emerge transformed. Surrender is the key, and allow yourself to be loved. So that is what Spirit is asking you to pay attention to. So go for it. Go for your dreams. And what advice does Spirit have? And I pulled a card from the Light Seers Tarot. And again, the same message, the Fool. And so right now, Naomi, you may have something that is right in front of you that's an opportunity to go for it. And you've gotten two messages that basically say the same thing. Take a leap of faith and just jump, because Spirit's got your back and you will be successful. So that is your advice during this time. And yes, surrendering is tough, but surrendering and letting the old go to allow the new coming in is exactly the message of advice for you. All right. And I'm going to turn it over to Dawn, who's going to pull the next set of cards.
Hi, I'm pulling for Oh My Giddy Aunt. So this is Edward. Edward, I'm shuffling. This comes out and another card came out with it. Heartache and loss. Edward has taken one of my classes, and one of the things I will say that him having to clamp his hands over his mouth is going to be heartache and loss for him, because he has a lot to say. And I will say that right now Mercury is in its shadow in the end of November. I'll look up that date and put that the next time I read here in a second. But this is the heartache and loss. And while you're doing that, though, the good news is make that an active time and turn what I would say, because Edward's very funny. I would say turn that into creative energy. Turn that into creative energy for yourself during this time where you're frustrated and you're, not knowing, you want to say something, but yeah, you just don't start an argument when Mars is retrograde, because you will lose the argument. And the nice thing is that when that person starts it, you're like, yeah, karma's coming. So that would be fertility, and actually, it's a great idea to utilize Mars's energy in that way, as far as getting out that energy, physically moving. Although I don't know if you have any limitations with that. Okay, one more. I want to pull out some advice and spirit. Too many cards. Hang on. Okay. You are at the divine Y point, and allow your work to become your art. I think there's something that is coming out for you, and I think, look at the threes. Oh my God, look at the threes, guys. 333. Hello. I think that there is definitely something that you should be focusing your attention on. I think that you've got a great opportunity to focus your energy away from maybe problems with family and those family issues, and then focus it on something more what your work is, because I think that is going to flourish, and you're going to be lining yourself up for something truly great coming forward. So I will go ahead and pass this on, and I think the next person is Jen. Go ahead, Jen.
Okay, I'm pulling for Britt. Okay, she had concerns about her parenting with her son. So I've pulled with the Animal Guides Tarot. The first question is, what needs your attention the most right now? And we got the Six of Pentacles. And so the Six of Pentacles is about the equal exchange between the energy that you're giving and what you're receiving. And so with it being your son, it makes me think that you probably are doing a lot for him that he could probably do for himself. And he's probably taking advantage of you at this point. So that's the thing that needs your attention, is you need some boundaries there with your son. And so I got with the guides from the hidden realms, the advice for you is the emergence of true knowing. And that is a 41 card. True knowing comes most easily from an open heart and mind. Right now, you're faced with the opportunity to pivot towards something new and take a different route than before. Something in you knows the truth of the situation at hand. It will pay off to stop overthinking and instead open yourself to the divine inspiration and deeper knowing. There is a distinct relationship between intuition and inspiration. Intuition is in service to inspiration. So keep exercising that intuitive muscle, and it will lead you to a place in life better than you imagined. Your higher power is whispering within. Don't just listen, take the risk and take that step. A new, prosperous, and abundant adventure awaits. You are on the right track. And so just the thing I got from that is just, you are going to have to do something different. You are going to have to show up differently in this connection. So again, that's the boundaries that I feel setting with this, the Six of Pentacles card is just, you can't do so much for him anymore. I think that that's the boundary. That's what I'm feeling from that. All right, so we're moving next to Elizabeth.
Hello. Thank you, Dawn, by the way, for that. I listened to Cancer and then Aquarius rising, even the moon, Leo hit me. I got something from really every sign. Loved it. So Bree, Goddess Bree, you asked about your relationship. Hey, beautiful. Chaos, MM. I don't know if the energy around the letter M's mean anything to you, but I want you to know that how you feel is really based in just anxiety, fear of uncertainty about your relationship. And I think some good advice moving forward, just in the moment too, is to be very logical, patient, lead in your life. Don't lead with fear. And this also is about having the courage and strength to have the tough conversations. You know, get out of your head and go and have good, beautiful, intimate conversations that will ease some of this continued chaos. So you might feel a little overly jealous, maybe overwhelmed. Maybe there's some jealous energy around you with this 5 of Acorns, Spirit Song Tarot. That's 5 of Wands. On the flip side, it could be just about learning and growing and practicing some of the new, I guess I want to say not practicing, but bringing a new perspective to how you communicate with your partner so that you don't sit in fear about this. Because moving forward, you have the Ace of Cups, Ace of Shells here, this beautiful. So go with the flow, let love in, lead with your heart. And I'm going to double down on that. I don't know if you're going to get married, but this is about gatherings and celebration, social events, ceremony, creation. It's beautiful. It's called the garden. So just don't lead with anxiety, lead with love and communicate with Jacob. I think it looks beautiful for you. So let me turn this over now to Wendy. Thank you.
Hi. So I am actually pulling for Lucy, and the card I pulled for what needs your attention right now was the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles is very much about working with others, and it can be about mastery. Sometimes we can kind of get lost in the details of things. And I'm really getting a strong hit of it's about your relationships and working with other people, and trying not to get wrapped up so much in what it is that you're doing with the doing of it, as much as who are you doing it with. I pulled a card for what advice does Spirit have? And I got shine bright like a candle, which is a 36. So it's kind of a 9 card, but I wanted to read a little excerpt from this. It says, you have a bright and glorious light within you that will shine through all the changes in your life, through every opportunity and perfect decision. It will shine despite the mistakes and hurts you may experience. The brightness within you is eternal and cannot be put out so easily. So despite the times when you fear that darkness lies ahead, know that the guiding light you seek is inside of you. When you receive this card, know that no matter how difficult or strange things seem to be, and no matter how much your life is altering, that you are a bright and shining soul, and you will continue to shine for a long time to come. And so not only shining for yourself, but shining that light for others. And, you know, the more we look inside of ourselves and ground ourselves and heal ourselves, that light radiates and it touches other people and it inspires them to do the same. And I feel like you are one of those shining lights. Absolutely. So please trust in that and believe yourself and look at those relationships around you and how you touch those people in your life. Okay, I hope that helps, Luce. And going on to Angie.
Hi, everybody. You know my drill. Go ahead, and if you have not yet had a reading, go ahead and type your number into the chat. 1 through 9, please. 1 through 9. Okay. Keep it coming. Not 4, 1, or 8. Let you know when you hit it. We were just talking about this earlier, guys. Not yet. Somebody's got to. If not, we can just do a general for overall. Still not seeing it. There we go. Okay, it is Miss Maribel. Miss Maribel, best and highest messages for Maribel today. We are asking what needs your attention the most right meow. Okay, what needs Maribel's attention the most right now? Okay, this is going to be the King of Swords, and it did fly out in reverse, even though I have all of my cards in the upright position. So this is a samurai, and he is very intent on his focus on looking at the truth of matters. So what needs your attention right now could very well be whether or not we are using that quality of discernment. Is there some kind of a nagging thought? You might have also seen an upswing, perhaps, in crows as you're going about your daily life. This could be something needs a little bit more of your attention here because we're not quite seeing something clearly. Let's see if we can get what that's about. The King of Wands. So Leo energy there. And this is like the little drummer boy, but his drum is on fire for some reason. Fire's coming in hot. King of Wands is all about, I see it, I want it, it's mine. So in your environmental energy regarding what truth may not be given to you or something you have a niggling about, that, I want to take action on this, but there might be a little bit of a but there, hanging in the balance. It could be regarding passionate communication, and if this is the person, if they're not speaking the truth, perhaps you're just not believing them, and or seeing something that's not there, or not seeing what you do need to see regarding communication of some sort here. It does look like with the Page of Cups, it's an apology or a message of love. It could be, you might think, that's a little bit childish. There's something that you are missing, though, so you're not wrong about that. And advice for you moving forward from Spirit. This is my Elizabeth card, 38, number 11. This is Lizard Spirit. Dream the world into being. So the message for that here from Lizard Spirit is asking when the last time was that you basked in the sun and allowed yourself to daydream. Imagine what might be and who you might become. Lizard Spirit appears when you're called to let your imagination flow and dream something new. Inspiration is available to you now if you're willing to slow down and let your eyes close a little, allowing ideas to dance in your head. And what might come into being if you were to pursue your dream? How might you grow and expand if you allowed yourself to dare to believe in the impossible, making it possible first in your dreaming mind and then in the world as you co-create with Spirit? Give in to the power of imagination, and soon your dream will become clearer. This can even be, I can't see, but Eight of Wands can also be interpreted as messages are trying to come through to you from Spirit. This could be regarding a quick decision to travel, maybe a romantic getaway, and either you're feeling like it's too good to be true, or you're not seeing the whole picture. So just make sure that it's not your projections that you're placing on someone else or your fears here, because it looks fun to me. Pretty passionate, and a good time here. Up and away. I just got up and away. I don't know. That could be if you're flying somewhere, I suppose, but it does feel like you're not believing, you're not trusting in something. Okay, Maribel. So Spirit does ask you to dare to dream big, and maybe even right now, especially with us in Scorpio time, that veil is still extremely thin. So messages can be coming fast and quick. So I hope that helps you, Miss Maribel. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to let Dawn share a card that she had for the collective.
think I
You're
know how to
muted.
do this
That's
now. Okay. So, I was shuffling and this came out and it was so perfect for what we've been talking about. And, this is one of my favorites, is For the Love of Dragons. So this is the card that came out. The Confidant. There are times to hold your deepest truth within your molten core. And then there are times like these when you need to express yourself in a safe, protected environment. Seek your trusted allies. Share and let yourself be witnessed and received, whether that is with chosen family, friends, a beloved mentor, or your invisible allies. Some of your greatest protectors are in the realm of the unseen. Confide your truth and express your heart to experience the belonging you are so worthy of. I just love my cards.
I love those dragon cards. So we do have enough time to get a few more in. So we're going to start back with Suri.
Okay. And I'm reading. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Did I miss something?
I don't know, but I'm reading for Shar. So hi, Shar. And I pulled a card. So what is what you need to focus on for now? And I'm pulling from, so what needs your attention is from the Wisdom of the Oracle. And this is called To Be Fair. It's 38, which 3 and 8 is 11, which reduces to 2. But it says to be fair. And this is very much like the justice card. So it says balance, justice, a need to consider options, mutual benefit, the law of cause and effect. And basically the message says life is offering experiences that are challenging and that are nourishing, yet over time they have a balance to them. You move from being to doing, from discovering to loving, to letting go to being again. Life is a pendulum swinging between all of these states. You will be oscillating back and forth between doing and being. If you are not content with where you are at this moment, remember that all experiences have their place. Accept them without judgment, and you will see how the universe adjusts in perfect balance. With every cause, there is an effect. Wonderful things will be revealed. But there could be something that's out of balance, Shar, that has been unjust or it's been unfair to you. And the universe is asking you to pay attention to that, because there needs to be some sort of balance or balancing of the scales. And I asked Spirit, well, what do you need right now in terms of advice moving forward? And I pulled the Knight of Swords. So there seems to be, in whatever situation you're in, some messages of truth that may be coming out, perhaps things that are going to be revealed. And I think, Dawn, you talked about this with the energies right now. There are a lot of truths that are coming out and a lot of messages, surprises, shocks. So in a situation where you may feel unjustly treated, or that the scales have not been fair to you, then this is Spirit's message to you, that there are messages of truth coming that are going to provide clarity. And I'm glad you're seeing 11, because many of us have been saying we've been seeing 1111 or 111. We keep seeing this number collectively. So pay attention to the messages around you of truth that hope to balance the scales of whatever has not been fair to you in this situation. And that is your message moving forward. And I will pass it on to, I believe it's Dawn.
Oh, and I'm going to read for Gypsy Vixen, and I will have you all say hello to Laura, who's on the other side of the world. Laura. So I pulled for you, the card that came out was material and spiritual prosperity. And as the question, what needs your attention the most right now? Being balanced with that, what's going on in your day-to-day life, and still maintaining that spiritual connection as you move through things. I think a lot of people are needing that balance right now with, because we're having so much information come at us. We've got a lot of strong astrology coming, and that we're in the middle of right now. So maintaining that balance, and just for the additional movement out there. Again, we need to be active in our daily lives, and physical in our daily lives, and then also do the grounding that will help us in that spiritual sense. So physical stuff for your body, and then maintain your higher connection for spiritual. I did for you, I also have for the love of dragons, the perceptionist. And I think this is also for us to all look about how we are perceiving things out in the world today. No one needs to tell you dragons are real. You know it in your bones. All the literature that claims they're myth and legend are grossly misinformed. We couldn't prove the God particle theory in quantum physics until the correct measuring device was invented in Switzerland. And any good scientist worth her petri dish, like any fairy taleist worth his yarn, will tell you that just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not there. Dragons, neurons, particles, fairies. The miraculous and marvelous often exist outside of our known measuring devices. Go beyond your five senses. Use your dragon sense to perceive the possibilities right now. So I think that you being in that balanced situation and allowing your perception of how things are to be your guide, and knowing that there's things working in your favor. And I get that from the other card too, that we have ancestors and guides and angels out there, Metatron and Sandalphon especially, that are working for us to help us move forward. And especially as we are getting into a time of manifestation, 11/11 is next Monday. So think about those things and how you can move forward and have the things that you can't see there to help you. So I'll go ahead and go on to Jen.
Okay, so I'm pulling for Kathy. Let's see. Okay, so the first question is, what needs your attention most right now? And we got the Knight of Swords. And so what I got from this is you do have something coming towards you very quickly. It says, get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion and make your decisions quickly. So, I mean, I do think you need to get very clear about what it is that you're actually wanting so that when this opportunity shows up, you're going to recognize it when it's there. I pulled with the wisdom of the oracle for your advice, and we have poised. And so this is also telling you, be prepared for this when it shows up. Be ready, bringing something to light, being at your best, confidence. You can be assured that you are ready for anything right now. You know what you need. You know what you need to know. Your skills are sharp. You've come to this place armed with wisdom and knowledge. And you sense a new phase of your life is about to begin. People respond to your confidence and they trust you. This is an auspicious time to begin new things. And I'm going to go ahead and read the prosperity message of this too. You have every reason to feel confident. Everything that you need to make your success concrete is now at your disposal. You can take action knowing that you are ready to step into your power, into your light, and into your service to the world. The direction that you're moving is your destiny. Your soul is smiling with joy as you align with this truth. And so, again, I just think that you need to be ready for this. So you have to know exactly what you're looking for so that when it shows up, that you can recognize it when it's there. All right, so we are moving to Elizabeth.
Yes, and I see Natisha. Hi, you wanted a message from your spirit guides. And I do have the woman here, which is beautiful. And it's really 29, again, 11 is popping up here for us. And your spirit guides just want you to really just stay true to yourself, nurture yourself. Understand that you are about soul contracts. I believe that you came to this earth to be beside people who are suffering. You're like a guiding light for them. And I also believe in times of chaos that you're there for people. But at the same time, your guides do want you to still nurture yourself. As they say, put your oxygen mask on first. And let me pull one more card for you as far as helping others and being that light for others and being a healer is what I'm getting for you. And it is, again, I've got the Ace of Cups again. I think we have talked about this. The girls and I have talked. It's really, making sure your cup is full. Please don't be overwhelmed by everything that you have to do and help with. Make heartfelt decisions. Don't get too caught up in your mind. And do know that anybody that you're asking me about relationship wise, very much consider that you have some sort of soul contract and your spirit guides want you to honor that. So I hope that resonates with you. And if I could just share a quick story really quick about the collective that Dawn pulled about being a confidant to people. And it reminds me even of this. You can be a confidant to even strangers. Without going into a lot of detail, I met a young lady at the nature preserve and she was carrying a whiteboard, you guys. It was about Monday or Tuesday. We had talked about vision boards and treasure mapping. And here she is from Oklahoma in Florida, lost, trying to figure out her spiritual path. Who does she meet? Me. So just keep in mind that many of you in the chat, all of you in the chat, all of us are here to share the love, the light, and be that beacon for people that need you. And I hope that helps. So with that being said, Wendy.
Hi. Sorry, it took me a minute. My whole screen went down. I was like, oh no, I lost everybody. Okay. So I pulled a couple of cards for Aquagen, and Aquagen is talking about going out on some interviews this week and not really sure about, if you were going to get an offer soon or what was going to happen. And the card I pulled for you for what needs your attention right now is the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. And the Nine of Pentacles, I'm thinking, think about the things that you are good at. Where are your successes? What are you successful with? What are you drawn to? What brings you joy? What do you really enjoy doing in your work? I think focusing on that energy is really going to kind of pair you up with your next step. Because the card I got for what advice does Spirit have is growing up. Okay. Moving into that kind of next stage of your life and what you want to be doing. And, when you look back at your past and the things that you would want to change or the lessons you have learned or the things, that you have grown from and that have made you stronger and taking that into your future. So I feel like you're in for kind of a shift of energy and kind of taking you into a new path and a new direction that I believe will be very positive for you with this Nine of Pentacles. Okay. I think you're going to be going into something that you really enjoy, that you're really successful at doing, that really meshes with where you want to go and what you want to be doing. And I think you will find a lot of happiness and joy in that. So I think it's looking good. I think it's looking very good for you. I hope that helps. Thanks. So going on to Angie.
Nice. Thanks, Wendy. Okay, guys, last time, all those 3s, 6s, and 9s. Boy, oh boy. Today is a 9-day. And just as an aside with all those 3s, Dawn, a lot of you guys got 3s, but my video last night, my live stopped at 33:33. It cut out. It was like power surge. It was the wildest thing. Go ahead and type those numbers into the chat, please, guys. And if not, if we don't hit that number, I will simply read for the collective. Not 1 or 8, not yet. Keep going. Keep going.
Blackjack. I've been wanting to say that.
What's that?
I'm like, blackjack. I don't know.
Ah. Okay, guys. So, yep, still not seeing it yet. And 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to be pulling for just what Spirit has for everyone here. The number was 7 again, by the way. And there's that 3, the Empress energy. So what needs your attention the most is looking back historically. I'm going to read these center, left, right. Looking historically at our own way that we love, the ways that we learned to love. Like Dawn was talking about, maybe that's where your Pluto is hitting in your chart, or where you're going to feel that Capricorn finishing out its job there in that house. So this is really looking at the patterns of the past. And then Empress would combine with the King of Wands. I'm not sure if you're a single parent or not, but you might feel like you've had to go it alone, or you're the one that just keeps the lights on, keeps the bills going, keeps everything. So again, this is for the collective. We're looking back at the ways in which we've created. This could even be, there is a fetus there. She is pregnant, but it's not usual that you see inside of the uterus there on the pictures in the cards. So this is also about what are you going to create here? It has to be attached to something that you love, guys. If we don't have the passion, King of Wands combined with the Empress, if we don't have the passion for that, then that's why universe shows us resistance, and it'll keep like, why isn't this working out? Why are there so many problems with this? It's just resistance. It's just the universe going, maybe let's try to come over here, okay? And we are crossed here by the 4 of Wands, the 1111 energy here. This is a celebratory energy. So we could even be celebrating, yay, I finally cracked the code. I was able to look inside of my own heart, see my own patterns, and especially with that child there, it could have to do with that ancestral wounding and waking up to the fact that, oh, wow, our subconscious has been really kind of leading us by the nose here as far as our one-to-one relationships. Under the 4 of Wands was the King of Pentacles energy, and it's a feminine King of Pentacles. So very similar to Wendy's 9, it's like this is you gaining your independence, you being able to pluck from the tree of life what it is that you desire. And this is you all creating individually your own castles inside. So we're kind of rebuilding here, cleaning out the clutter. And it's a time for celebration, because when we do that, we balance out the energy in ourselves. We attract a person that's going to put in just as much action with these 2 wands, and you're going to put your 2 wands of action, and so will they. When you are a balanced inside, your yin and yang, your divine masculine, divine feminine within you, that is what comes towards us, and that's there's something to celebrate here. There's definitely some knowledge gained. The King of Pentacles is the most mature of all the kings. This could even be like, wow, I didn't ever think I'd get to the point where I was able to celebrate retirement. So there is some kind of victory and celebration on the way when we do this work and take action on what it is that we are passionate about creating. I hope that was a good sum up for everyone there. I can't believe that 7 came out twice. So on the dice. So spirits here with that 7 number. We are protected and guided, and especially when it's connected to passion, guys. You can't go wrong there. You can't go wrong.
That was awesome, Angie. Thank you. I think that was beautiful for everyone. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everybody in the chat. We love you guys. And listen, if we didn't get to you, we will be back Monday, 11/11. It'll be so cool. So do come back at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just a quick reminder, if you happen to be on one of our other channels and you're not seeing the chat right, just come on over to at the Spiritual View 311. I know it's confusing, but we're feeding several other channels. And let's see, for everyone and the puppies and all the animals, we wish you a very peaceful, lovely weekend. You know, make decisions from the heart, go have some fun, put passion and love into it. Hi, Shar, everybody. We love you. Do come back Monday, and thank you again for everything. Peace.